It's 19 hours GMT. This is News 360. It's coming to you live from the News Hub here at Adissa Wakanda. I'm Natalie Ford.
My name is Alfred Okanse. Coming up in the bulletin tonight.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by Deluxipade,
Heaven Black Mosquito Coil and Spray,
Calipo, and Nido Fortigro. Top on the news this evening, 5 aspirants pick nomination forms to contest NDC flag bearership contest.
Bringing details of that, and also Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Anthony Nsiah-Sarrey, defends the use of drones to deliver medical supplies in the country.
Also ahead this evening, third round of talks between Ghana and Togo to avert simmering maritime border dispute over offshore oil exploration activities underway.
In business tonight, exports of free zones companies from January to October hit 1.6 billion cedis.
On the international front this evening, key figure in fight against corruption in South Africa, Shamila Batohi, named country's first female chief prosecutor. The details of these and much more news coming to you live here on News 360. As always, our bulletin streams live all across the world on 3news.com. You could also watch us on DSTV channel 279. Our very first story this evening, the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Anthony Nsiah-Sarrey, has defended the use of drones as the most efficient and cost-effective way to deliver medical supplies, particularly in remote communities in the country. The move, which he says should not be politicized, would enable government to achieve universal access to healthcare.
The Director General of the Ghana Health Service was reacting to the minority who had earlier raised issues with the cost of the service agreement between Ghana and Fly Zipline Limited. He said the health services, together with the Civil Aviation, National Security and the Attorney General's Department, have collaborated for the past 6 months and are ready to implement the technology, which has a service fee of $88,000. He explained government will not buy the drones, neither would the Health Ministry bear the risk of the installation, operation and maintenance of facilities.
The drones that we operate in Ghana is going to be done on 24-hour basis. And we are going to have 4 distribution sites. Yesterday, I heard somebody saying that there will be 4 drones. And he made the cost of the drones. And said that 4 drones, because of the cost is this, so it's about 600% increase profit for the people. The drones are going to be assembled or built at the distribution site. And they are going to be not less than 20 drones. In some places, depending upon the need, it can even go to about 50 drones. So these drones is not going to replace the last mile delivery. It's not going to replace the bulk deliveries that we send to our health hospitals and the district. Because if you look at the drone, the weight of the drone can take is about 1.75 or 2 kilos. So it's taking small quantities of consumables at a time.
He said already GNPC has agreed to support the rolling out of the technology with 1 million cedis every month as part of its corporate social responsibility. Dr. Nsiah-Sarrey insisted the move is the most efficient and cost-effective.
The minister only pays Zipline when they succeed in setting up the distribution center, and then also they meet our performance specifications. So if you even want to do an average, and you say that if you divide 88,000 by 500, so it means that every month, if they are doing full delivery and what we have agreed, no facility will pay more than, if they are paying, the facility are paying themselves, will pay more than $175 per month.
He explained the sole sourcing was because Zipline is the only company into drones medical delivery in the world. The minority on Monday described the cost involved in the agreement as a complete rip-off.
Something that is actually costing about $100,000 or less, all of a sudden is being sold to Ghanaians at a cost of $1 million. This is nothing but, it's not even fraud. I think it's criminal. Is thieving, but nothing else. What surprises me is that a commitment of this nature, they have not budgeted for it. When you are to ask, we were told that GNPC is paying for it.
It appears the issues raised about these drones is not anytime soon. We're going to be going into this in our subsequent bulletins. Back to our headline story where 5 flag bearer aspirants of the opposition National Democratic Congress NDC have picked nomination forms to compete in the party's presidential primaries. The aspirants who will be vetted would also have to pay 400,000 cedis each as filing fees to enable them contest the January 19 primaries.
The 5 are former President John Mahama, former Vice-Chancellor of the University of Professional Studies, Professor Joshua Alabi, former CEO of National Health Insurance Authority, Sylvester Mensah, and businessman Stephen Atubiga, and second Deputy Speaker and MP for Nandoli Kalio, Alban Bagbin. Representatives of the aspirants picked the nomination forms on their behalf after paying 20,000 cedis. Many of the aspirants, apart from former President John Mahama, condemned the astronomical increase in their nomination and filing fees after it was announced by the leadership of the party. Some of them petitioned the founder and chairman of the Council of Elders, Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings, for a downward review of the fees. The presidential primary is slated for January 19.
Still on this, former NDC MP for Ayawaso West Wogon, Ken Jirasa, has called on the party leadership to call to order executives who continue to openly declare support for aspirants. He made the observation when he led a delegation to pick nomination forms on behalf of former Vice-Chancellor of the University of Professional Studies, Professor Joshua Alabi.
Professor Joshua Alabi was the second to pick nomination forms after former President John Dramani Mahama to contest the party's presidential primaries. The former First Deputy Speaker of Parliament led the delegation, which included MP for Keta Richard Kwashiga, former MP for Drobo Amasaman Ernest Atukwe, and the former MP for Ladadi Kotopon Ni Amasana Mwale.
Some of your newly elected executive members, in the full glare of the cameras, in front of the microphones, made public declarations in support of some prospective candidates. Joshua Alabi's team considers this highly inappropriate and unethical. So our plea is that you call your National Executive Committee members, your regional executive committee members who have openly declared support for individual candidates to order.
General Secretary of the NDC, Johnson Esidu Nketia, assured the aspirants of the party's commitment to ensure a fair process. The NDC chief scribe made it clear the party will not extend the deadline for picking of nomination forms.
Any reason to do so far, because for the whole day yesterday one person filed. And so today, if by the close of the day, nobody files, we'll close and then proceed with the other processes.
Flag bearer aspirants are expected to pay 20,000 cedis for the nomination forms and 400,000 cedis for filing fee ahead of the January 19 presidential primaries.
Oh, so it's unclear what the likes of Alban Bagbin, Kospio Gabra, Nuruddin, and then Elik Play Magbemeva will do. But we'll keep an eye very closely to this after this particular issue. But a third round of talks between Ghana and Togo is underway in Accra to avert a simmering maritime border dispute between the two countries over offshore oil exploration activities. So the Chief Director of the Ministry of Energy and head of Ghana's technical team, Lawrence Apau, says disclosed the two parties are yet to come to an understanding which could lead to an agreement.
It is because we have varying positions. Everybody has his understanding of the issues. And normally when people have different understanding to an issue, you negotiate. Given the 3 rounds of negotiation so far, it is quite possible that we are not reaching consensus very soon. That does not say that we will not reach consensus. If we say that we don't have a boundary at the place, we do not have any boundary between Ghana and Togo, then where lies the point of claim that this is my area? So it is still a very difficult question to answer. And it is to resolve all these things that we are having the negotiation.
Between December 2017 and May 2018, Togo had stopped 2 seismic vessels from Ghana from undertaking activities to acquire seismic data in the deep sea in the territory close to Togo. The first threat was during the legal tussle between Ghana and Côte d'Ivoire, when a Ghanaian registered company was prevented from exploring because Côte d'Ivoire had roped in Togo in the dispute at the International Tribunal of the Law of the Sea. Togo wanted all companies to cease operations in the area until the final determination of the case. Chief Director of the Ministry of Energy and head of Ghana's technical team, Lawrence Apalzi, said with the experience from the dispute with Côte d'Ivoire, there is the need to settle differences between the feuding parties rather than relying on a third party such as the ITLOS, which is costly and time-consuming.
From my training of maritime boundary delimitation, when you ask the question, when negotiation fails, what do? The answer is you negotiate. When you ask again that when negotiation fails, what is the next step? The answer is you negotiate. So the issue is you negotiate till it hurts. When it hurts, both sides will be very clear that it hurts, and then you move to the next step, which is third-party arbitration.
Should the negotiations between Ghana and Togo fail to achieve positive results, what will be the chances of Ghana at the third-party arbitration?
You do not go to a negotiation table and preempt the outcome. It is a bad strategy to do, especially when you are hosting your neighbor in your country, and then you flex muscles. It's a bad attitude.
Chief of Staff of the High Council of the Sea of Togo, Hubert Bakai, is hopeful the rounds of negotiations will be fruitful.
Now, an Accra Circuit Court has granted bail to persons accused of assaulting the head pastor of the Agape Restoration Ministry at Community 19 in Tema, Reverend Ebenezer Arthur, and other members of the church. They were granted bail of 80,000 cedis with 2 sureties.
The case was presided over by Her Ladyship Priscilla Mreku. The accused persons who are standing trial on provisional charges of causing damage and harm, together with others numbering more than 30, who are at large, invaded the Agape Restoration Ministry at Tema Community 19 and assaulted the head pastor, some church leaders and members on Wednesday, November 28. The 2 have been granted bail of 80,000 cedis with 2 sureties, while the case has been adjourned to December 17. Meanwhile, the pastor is still on admission responding to treatment at an unknown location. The police are on a manhunt to arrest the other suspects on the run.
Now, staff of 6 private security companies who were not in approved uniforms have been picked up at the North Industrial Area here in Accra. This brings to 14 the number of companies which have contravened the police private security regulations LI 1579, an exercise to clamp down on the practice.
We are not arresting you person, but we are arresting the uniform.
The 6 private companies are GoCrest, Scores, Tricity, Sterling Protection, Omega and Ash Foam Company Security.
I give you 2 weeks to take over the building. However, beyond that, we are arrested and sent to court.
1 person representing each of the defaulting companies were taken to the police headquarters and messages sent to their managers to report for questioning.
Everybody must change. If you have a contract with any private security, go back, tell them that any guard that comes into your yard must be in approved uniform. Otherwise, if the guards are arrested, you, the company, will also be arrested.
The exercise ends on Friday, December 7, after which the defaulting companies and those they are rendering services for will be charged and arraigned before court.
Let's turn to labor-related issues this evening as the Trades Union Congress has cautioned government against the handing over of the management of the public sector payroll to a third party. Reacting to 2019 budget and financial statements, the TUC argued the move would expose the confidential details of public sector employees. Here's reports by Daniel Opoku.
Outsourcing the cleaning of the payroll, according to government, would reduce corruption in the public sector. But some unions have kicked against the decision. The Teachers and Education Workers Union, TEU, are of the view it would compromise the confidential details of employees.
The current payroll managers are reoriented, capacitated, or trained with the required inputs in terms of logistics, materials, and expertise. They will be able to overcome the current challenges which government is seeking to outsource in solving the problem.
The Government and Hospital Pharmacists Association, GOSPA, warned that this could trigger agitations.
We have had this IPPD1, IPPD2, and IPPD3, and there still have been some amount of private involvement. Consultants have been brought in their own system to make sure that they clean out the system. We are still having outstanding issues.
The Ghana Federation of Labour, which called for stakeholder discussion on the issue, was disturbed that the 2019 budget failed to address concerns of those in the textile industry.
How we can all partner with government to make sure that policies of government inure to the benefit of this industry to mobilize the right revenue in the interest of economic development. That is what we are saying, that anti-piracy task force should be revamped. I don't know whether the task force has been disbanded. For some reason, they've become ineffective. But this is, for me, the decision that the government can put together. We'll be able to check these issues.
On IMTN Video Report today, our citizen journalist Kofi Poku reports on the bad state of the bridge at Dixcove in the Western region.
So this is the bridge connecting Busia to Dixcove, one of the most important towns we have in Ghana with regards to tourism. The bridge is in a very dilapidated state and very dangerous for both motorists and passers-by as well. All users of this bridge are at a serious risk. Look at it. This is one of Ghana's most important tourist destinations. And this is the only bridge connecting it.
Clearly, a certain level of proactivity is needed to prevent any disaster, and then we will be seen reacting to it, as has always been the case. So that's it at Dixcove. We'll keep an eye on this. But you can also send your video report via WhatsApp number 05514330044. We're going to get into the world of business tonight with what's happening with the free zones companies in the country. With Parkus Yasari. Stay with us. Hello, good evening, and welcome to the business news segment on News 360. My name is Parkus Yasari. Thanks very much for joining us. In our very first story, companies operating under the Free Zones Enclave exported goods valued at more than 1.6 billion cedis in the first 10 months of this year. The Chief Executive Officer of the authority, Michael Otribefi, in a disclosure said the contribution came primarily from food processing sector.
The Free Zones Act 1995 Act 504 makes it mandatory for the companies to export a minimum of 70% of their products as part of measures to stimulate industrialization under an import substitution regime. CEO of the Ghana Free Zones Authority, Michael Befi, said although the figure falls short of an estimated 3 billion cedis for the year, it outstripped imports of $113.1 million within the same period. This means that the exports of Free Zones companies outstripped their imports by more than 100%.
End of the third quarter, where we're able to make almost about $1.6 billion. We have done more than that. We are sure we'll be able to cross 3 billion if all things being equal. Mostly those in the food and food processing businesses and the service and garment. These are the companies that we had more from.
He said the wide variation between the values of imports and exports of companies operating under the Free Zones program had brought to the fore the impact that the Free Zones initiative had made on the country's balance of trade.
The foreign exchange will come to strengthen the city, and that is what we want to achieve, because without foreign exchange, you will not be able to measure the value of your currency and also make it more attractive.
The Ghana Free Zones Authority was established in 1995 by an Act of Parliament to enable the establishment of free zones in Ghana and to provide for the regulation of activities in free zones.
In other news, customers of Shell have expressed their appreciation to Vivo Energy Ghana for their value for money services over the years. While marking the 2018 Shell Customer Contact Day, the company used the platform to interact, appreciate, and solicit feedback from customers at various retail outlets across the country.
The Shell brand, of which customers have remained loyal to, has been in Ghana for more than 90 years. Customers have benefited from a number of initiatives, including the Shell app, new products like Helix 5WX30, partnership with quick service restaurant, introduction of pit stops. Officials of Vivo Energy Ghana interacted with customers who won instant prizes, including engine oil and souvenirs at the event. Financial manager of Vivo Energy Ghana, Jean-Michel Alandis, stressed the company's resolve to continue leading in innovations, quality and safety.
Great companies in the world are trying every day to bring more added value, and it's part also of Shell DNA. And to bring more value, you know, we have to be creative. We have to propose new services. So we are trying every day to increase our efficiency, to sign some agreements with quick service restaurants, to propose new products, increasing the quality of your motor, to propose you also new services in terms of credit card, Shell card. So we'll bring more and more value within our existing products, but we are also building and creating new products for in the coming months.
Some customers expressed gratitude and pledged to remain loyal to the brand.
I don't buy from any fuel station except Shell.
Because fine, petrol is good.
Maybe you see 4 years. Shell provides quality services, and so I'll keep buying from them.
Management also used the occasion to remind customers about the Shell Filling New Year Deep promo Reloaded, which has amazing prices including Hyundai Grand i10 cars, 6 months free fuel, and over 100,000 prizes available for grabs.
You're still watching the business segment on News 360. My name is Kwesi Asari. The Food and Drugs Authority has awarded Casa Preco Company Limited a Hazard Analysis Critical Control Point certification. That's the HACCP. The internationally recognized certification is aimed at improving consumer confidence, marketability, and brand image.
Casa Preco Company, established close to 30 years ago, produces a number of diversified alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages using first-class technology. The company initiated a process to get the Hazard Analysis Critical Control Point (HACCP) certification in line with international best practices. The HACCP is used to identify food safety hazards and eliminate or reduce their occurrences or impact to the barest minimum by implementing control measures.
Casa Preco Company Limited approached the Food and Drugs Authority to help them develop and implement a hazard system. But it's a laudable thing because we then can show to the consumers that we have a system in place which will assure the food safety of the foods that we manufacture in Ghana.
The quality manager expressed the company's resolve at ensuring that products are wholesome and safe for consumers.
Everything that we do is about the product and its impact on the consumer. So we take consumers very seriously. So we've gone through this process to ensure that the product that we put out there is safe for consumers.
The financial director of Casa Preco Company hinted the company will open another factory in Kumasi next year. Chief Executive Officer of FDA, Mimi Dakun, while lauding the company for the initiative, noted The certification would provide assurance to consumers that Casapreco products are safe for consumption.
The Food and Drugs Authority has gone through the details of the system in terms of training and creating awareness to the staff of the company for all to be involved, since successful HACCP implementation is a collective responsibility with the top management commitment as the pivot.
Staff of the company who went through training in the HACCP application also received certificates.
Let's find out what's happening in the insurance industry, because the former chief executive of Vanguard Assurance, Gideon Amenyedo, wants local insurance companies to be protected as the National Insurance Commission moves to increase the minimum stated capital for insurance firms. There are fears many insurance firms may be absorbed by their foreign counterparts if the NIC goes ahead to impose a blanket fee on all companies. The current 15 million cedi stated capital for insurance companies is expected to see a significant increase before the end of December 2018. Over the past year, some experts have advocated an upward review of the minimum stated capital for insurers. They blame the low insurance penetration, which stands at about 1.7%, as well as local insurers' inability to underwrite big-ticket transactions, especially in the oil and gas industry, on the low capital requirements. As of December 2015, the Insurance Act required all insurance companies to have a minimum capital of 15 million cedis, but to date, some companies are reported to be still struggling to meet the requirement. Following the central bank's decision last year to increase banks' minimum capital requirement from 120 million cedis to 400 million cedis, debate about the NIC also increasing that of insurance companies have also emerged, with industry players opposing the decision. The former CEO of Vanguard Assurance, Gideon Amenyedo, is of the view an upward adjustment must be done cautiously.
Some can specialize only in motor, some fire, which has a lower loss ratio. But those who want to venture into oil and the rest, where the risk is higher, could be encouraged to increase their capital higher. So then we'll be talking about risk-based provision, etc. Otherwise, there's a blanket increase for everyone in the light of the fact that how many even businesses are there? Because if somebody puts in a lot of capital, over 100%, 150% increase, and businesses, insurance businesses are not in there for the people to justify it, it will be a lockup.
Mr. Amenyedo, who is now CEO of J&G Insurance Brokers, says local insurance firms stand to lose out if the NIC goes ahead.
We'll be seeing takeovers actually. We'll be seeing capital flight from the, like I'm saying, if you look at development, the other economies are not growing as fast as Africa. So if you are talking about capital increase in insurance, in banking, you see a lot of capital comes in here. And now we used to have some local content. Those things are absent even in the law. So it's easy to come and see those foreigners taking over our insurance industry. But the insurance industry is another vibrant, strategic sector which should not be given away.
Although yet to be announced, the increase is expected to trigger mergers and acquisitions, or the possible folding up of many amongst the 53 life and non-life insurance firms in the country. Well, that's all for the business news on News 360. Thanks very much for watching. My name is Parkwesi Asari. For more business news stories, do log on to our website, www.3news.com. Well, welcome back to News 360. News just coming through. The chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Jane Mensah, has directed staff of the commission to restore the original logo of the institution effective today, the 4th of December 2018. In a memo cited by TV3 and copied to the commissioners, head of that's office directors, regional directors, deputy regional directors, district electoral officers, and sectional heads, the commissioner advised that the original logo, which bears the coat of arms and has a ballot box showing the hand casting its vote, has been restored. Now, the memo further directs that the most recent logo be removed from the buildings and properties of the Electoral Commission.
All right, good evening. It is now time for some entertainment and lifestyle news with me, Nana Kwedrado. Now, moving on to the very first story. tonight. It's been 5 years since the Upper East region last grabbed the GMB crown. Poker made them proud. Now, moving on to the final on Sunday, can Wekia do same? The native of Navrongo and the pride of the Upper East region repeat the history. Owusu has more.
Ghana's most beautiful. Hey, the time has come. Ghana.
She is beautiful, smart, and intelligent.
I have 5 names. So my names are Portia Danlugu, Wekia Wejigidam Jesus Lina. I am 23 years of age.
Ghana's most beautiful.
The wannabe queen is fun-loving and enjoys reading.
You would find me having fun with my mom and friends. I love to read, and what else? I love to cook. Okay. I like food.
Undoubtedly, GMB has been a great learning curve for Wekia, the pride of the Upper East region.
One important thing I've learned so far is to think on my feet. I've learned to be strong emotionally and to tolerate people and public speaking. Yeah.
Let us always remember to wash our hands with soap and clean running water at critical moments.
The 23-year-old goes into the grand finale with high hopes of making history.
I'm going to put out my best. Anytime I see the advert on TV, I don't think about Wekia. I think about the Upper East region, people who are supporting me. So I have to bring out the best in me, something they've not seen before, because it has been 5 years since poker tickets. I want to also make history for my people.
Our star performer tonight is Wekia.
Our star performer tonight is Wekia.
Wekia, winner of the star performer in week 4, is convinced absolutely nothing can stand in the way or stop her from going for gold.
God has made it already that Upper East would be the winner, and Wekia will wear the crown this year.
What does winning the crown mean to you?
Winning this crown would help me to carry out my project, which is Read With Me. What I want to do is to set up reading clubs and basic schools, primary, JHS, and if possible I'll extend it to SHS. And then at the end of the month I'll organize a zonal competition between the schools. My aim is to get children to read.
It certainly would be a keenly contested grand finale. The 3 other finalists, Abena, Afra, and Ohima, are all poised for the action.
Who do you see as a threat?
There are 2 people. One is Ohima. Why Ohima? She's really good. This year she has come for business. She means business, and she has control over the language. She's good. And then the second person is Abna. She has this energy in her.
The big question still remains:
who wears the crown?
Wekia wears the crown.
So the question is, who wears the crown on Sunday, 9th December at the National Theatre? Now moving on to the final story. The trial of celebrated songstress Akosua Agyapong and Frank Agyeman-Badu, who have been accused of defrauding by false pretenses, has resumed at an Accra Circuit Court. In May 2018, the case was adjourned after the presiding judge, Priscilla Dapa Miracle, went on leave. Akosua Agyapong and one Frank Agyeman-Badu, a building contractor, have been accused of allegedly collecting 105,000 Ghana cedis from one Jonas Asamoah under the pretext of providing him with a parcel of land. All right, so that's how we wrap up entertainment news tonight on NEWS360. My name is Nana Kwedrado, but don't forget, this Friday is a big one. Music launch at Kaswa, and then the final of GMB on Sunday. Handing over to Alfred and Natalie.
You know, you could almost read our minds.
I know,
we were talking
thinking
about.
same.
It's countdown to those 2 moments, but I want to say thank you, as always. On behalf of the rest of the team, we are grateful. My name is Alfred Okansi.
And I'm Natalie Ford. Visit our website, 3news.com, for a lot more news. Thanks so much for watching. Have a pleasant evening.